Hello, and welcome to this on-demand training session on how charities and community groups can engage with AI. This recording forms part of a library of online resources commissioned by Support Cambridgeshire. You'll find guidance links to additional information at the end of the accompanying transcript. My name is Flora Faye from Rapport Coaching, and I work with small charities and voluntary organisations to help them think critically about leadership, strategy, and digital tools. In this session, we're going to explore why engaging with AI, especially generative AI, is something every charity leader and trustee needs to think about. We will not cover the technical side of AI, but we will signpost to further resources. Now, AI is not a passing trend or a bit of hype. It's already influencing how organizations work, how they communicate, and even how they make decisions. Whether or not you're actively using AI tools right now, they're shaping the environment in which your charity works. That's why, as leaders, you have a responsibility to engage with AI thoughtfully. Not to jump on the bandwagon, but to make sure your charity is protected, prepared, and making the most of opportunities. The 2025 Charity Digital Code of Practice puts this clearly. Digital isn't just about tools. It's a leadership, ethical, operational, and engagement issue. The code talks about risks, culture, skills, and adaptability, and AI touches on all of these areas. Choosing to ignore AI isn't a neutral decision. In fact, it could mean missing out on opportunities or exposing your organization to risks you didn't see coming. This session is here to help you start the right conversations in your charity, to reflect on your approach, set clear boundaries, and think about how AI fits into your leadership and governance responsibilities. Before we go any further, let's take a moment to explain what we actually mean by AI and why it matters for voluntary and community groups. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a broad term. It covers a whole range of technologies that help analyze data, make predictions, automate tasks, or generate content. The type of AI that most charities are likely to come across is generative AI, often called Gen AI for short. These are tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini. They create text, images, audio, and even video based on huge amounts of information they've been trained on. Under the hood, these tools work by using large language models, or LLMs. These models have been trained on vast amounts of data, often scraped from the internet and publicly available sources of information. They predict what's likely to come next in a sequence, or what should be included in an image based on patterns in that data. So while AI tools can seem impressive, they aren't thinking, creating, or understanding like a human. They're predicting. That means they can be useful for things that have been done before, like drafting text and reports, summarizing information, generating ideas or suggestions. But it also means they can get facts wrong, they can reflect biases in their training data, and they can generalize or oversimplify complex topics. That's why critical thinking is so important when using AI tools. And this is a point we'll come back to repeatedly. AI can be a really helpful tool, but only if we remember it's not infallible, and it's certainly not a substitution for human judgment. So how do you make sure your charity is using Gen AI tools safely, responsibly, and in line with your values? There's no single right answer, but there are good principles that can guide your approach. One helpful framework is the 4 Ds of AI fluency, developed by Anthropic, one of the major AI research organizations. These 4 principles work really well alongside the leadership principles in the Charity Digital Code of Practice. Let's look at each one in turn. First, delegation is about deciding what tasks are appropriate for AI and what must remain in human hands. For example, you might use AI to help draft meeting minutes based on your notes or review a funding application against a funder's criteria to identify areas for improvement. But you wouldn't use it to make decisions about anything sensitive like safeguarding or service delivery. This is part of your leadership responsibility, knowing when AI is a helpful assistant and when it can hinder. It means seeing AI as a tool to support learning and development in your team, not a shortcut to avoid building skills. It means recognizing while certain actions can be delegated, a human should be involved in the act of delegating and reviewing what is produced. Next is description. This is about being clear and specific when you use AI tools. The clearer you are in your instructions, what's known as a prompt, the better the output will be. It's useful to cover the following in your prompt. What is the outcome you want? Be specific about the task. Do you want a summary, a plan, a draft paragraph, a headline, or a checklist? Who's writing it? Define the voice or perspective you want the tool to take. For example, write this as a fundraising officer speaking to trustees, or explain this like you're speaking to a 16-year-old service user. What's important? Include any key details you want to appear, such as values to reflect, tones to match, or elements to include or avoid. Finally, what are the restrictions? Set clear boundaries, such as keep it under 150 words, write in bullet points, use British English spelling, etc. Clear descriptions make sure that the AI's outputs are useful and appropriate, and that they align with your charity's voice and values. Third is discernment, reviewing AI-generated content with a critical eye. You should never assume that an AI's generated output is correct, unbiased, or fit for purpose straight away. AI tools reflect the data they were trained on, which means they can repeat biases or make assumptions that don't apply to your context. They also have a tendency to simplify, generalize, or even make things up, sometimes known as hallucination. Your role is to critically review everything AI produces. Check the facts, figures, and sources. Review whether there are any hidden biases, stereotypes, or harmful assumptions in the language or content. It's up to you to check, verify, and adapt it before it goes anywhere. And finally, diligence. This is about being responsible and ethical in how you use AI. Never input confidential, sensitive, or personal data into AI tools, especially free versions where your data may be used to train the system. Make sure that your data protection and cybersecurity policies are followed. Read the terms of use and privacy policies of the platforms. Treat the AI platforms as if they're public spaces and never enter sensitive internal information. Only use reputable AI platforms and keep your software and security protocols up to date. Also, think carefully about the ethical side of using AI. Are you representing your community fairly? Are you protecting your beneficiaries' privacy? This directly links to the Charity Digital Code's principles on risk, ethics, and digital culture. So in summary, decide carefully what AI is for in your organization. Be clear in your instructions, review outputs with critical thinking, and always use AI tools responsibly and ethically. These principles will help you lead your charity with confidence in an AI-enabled world. So what does this actually look like in practice for your charity? It's easy to feel like you need all the answers before you start, but really, this is about beginning the conversation and taking intentional, manageable steps forward. Here are some practical ways you can start to responsibly integrate AI into your work. First, start the conversation in your organization. Talk with your team, trustees, and volunteers. Ask what people already know and think about AI. Are they excited, wary, curious? You might be surprised by how many people are already using AI tools informally, like writing drafts or generating ideas. Having an open conversation helps surface concerns, set shared expectations, and build confidence. Next, agree on your boundaries and principles. Use the 4 Ds we talked about earlier and your charity values to set clear guidelines on how AI will and will not be used. Consider things like, what type of tasks is AI appropriate for or inappropriate for in our context? How will we make sure AI-generated content is reviewed and adapted before use? How will we protect sensitive data and confidentiality? How will we check for biases and uphold our inclusion commitments? This isn't about writing a huge policy straight away. It's agreeing on some practical shared principles to guide your team. Third, invest in learning and confidence building. Encourage your team and trustees to explore basic AI literacy. There are plenty of free resources out there from Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, and Charity Digital. Keep the focus on learning together, sharing examples, and reflecting on what works for your organization. Fourth, capture how your charity is using AI and what you're learning along the way. Set up a simple spreadsheet to record how AI is being used, what's worked well, and what challenges have come up. This helps everyone in the team reflect on their experiences, spot risks and gaps, and share good practice across the organization. It also gives you a foundation for setting policies and reviewing your digital strategy down the line. Finally, start to integrate AI considerations into your policies and organizational strategy. Review your existing policies, especially data protection, safeguarding, digital and communications, and make sure they cover AI use where relevant. Make AI part of your ongoing strategy conversations about digital, risk management, leadership, and service delivery. And remember, this isn't a one-off task. AI tools will keep evolving, and so will your experience with them. Stay curious, keep learning as a team, review your approach regularly. The goal isn't perfection, it's to make sure AI is helping your charity and that you're staying in control in how you use it. So let's recap. AI, especially generative AI, is already shaping the world we work in. As charity leaders and trustees, it's your responsibility to engage with AI critically and thoughtfully to make sure your organisation is protected, prepared, and making the most of the opportunities AI can offer. We talked about what AI and Gen AI are and why they matter, how to use AI well using the 4 Ds of AI fluency: delegation, description, discernment, and diligence, alongside key leadership principles from the Charity Digital Code of Practice, and the practical steps you can take to start or build on your organisation's approach to AI. The key takeaway? You don't need to be a tech expert, but you do need to engage. Start the conversation with your team, agree your principles, build your confidence together, and stay curious as the technology evolves. For more detail on this topic, check out the guidance links at the end of the recording transcript. You can contact the Support Cambridgeshire team for guidance on all aspects of running your organisation at info@supportcambridgeshire.org.uk. You're also welcome to contact me at Rapport Coaching to explore the bespoke support I can offer around leadership, strategy, and digital tools. You can email me at flora@rapportcoaching.com or check out my website, rapportcoaching.com. Thank you.